fifth grade. For today's poetry lesson, we are going to start a new grouping of poems. This collection of poems represents the poetry about sports and other activities that both boy and girl students liked best. Jocks, too, need to know that they can find their feelings and experiences spoken for in poetry, and that their own poems are a way for them to consider and name the satisfactions of movement, speed, power, competition, and fandom, as well as the heartaches of the sporting life. At recess, we watch you playing kickball or shooting hoops, and we know you've learned how to read every crack and ripple in that patch of blacktop. I think lots of kids have similar patches of blacktop. Carl Linder wrote a poem about this. Follow along with me as I read the poem First Love. First Love. Before 16, I was fast enough to fake my shadow out, and I could read every crack and ripple in that patch of asphalt. I owned the slanted rim, knew the dead spot in the backboard. Always the ball came back. Every day, I loved to sharpen my shooting eye, waiting for the touch. Set shot, jump shot, layup, hook. After a while, I could feel the ball hungering to clear the lip of the rim, the two of us falling through. If we go back to the assignment instructions, the response stance is where you'll find what I'm asking you to go into the poem and look for. It says, after reading the poem, First Love, please go back into it and consider two questions. How does the title fit the poem? And how does the title connect with the poem's conclusion? Please insert two comments explaining your answers to these questions. So you're going to go back into this poem. And to complete the assignment, you're going to use your mouse to highlight the title, First Love, and then you're going to use the comment button. And you're going to explain your thinking on this, which is the answer to the question that I asked. How does the title connect to the poem? So the title is First Love. And some of you may have been thinking, oh yeah, Miss H has given us a poem about romance. I can't hardly wait. I hope there's kissing. And then you start to read the poem and you're like, wait a second, this is about basketball. There's no kissing here. And so the title leads you to believe it's going to be about one thing, but then as you read the poem, you realize, oh, wait a minute. It's about something different than I previously thought. So the title, though it's maybe a little bit misleading, is still relevant for the content in the poem. So that's what I'm asking you to tell me. How does that title connect to the poem? And so you're going to explain your thinking in this comment. You highlighted the title, and then you're going to add a comment, and you're going to explain your thoughts on how that title connects to the poem. When you're finished typing, you'll hit comment. The second question that I asked you was, how does the conclusion relate to the title? So you would highlight this last stanza with your mouse, and then you would go to the comment button, and you would explain to me how this conclusion ties back to the poem. I will give you a little hint here. In these lines here, I could feel the ball hungering to clear the lip of the rim, the two of us falling through. So the poet has shot the basketball, but he's talking about him and the basketball as being one. You know that when people are in love, sometimes they get married, and there's an expression, the two become one, because they're not two individuals now, they're a couple. So he's talking about himself and the ball as if they're a couple. That's just a little hint. So hopefully you can take that hint and combine it with your own thoughts and give me a good example of your thinking on this one. So you'll type your comment here, and then once you're done typing, you'll hit comment, and then you'll be able to turn that poem in. Before we jump to that part, though, I want to draw some special attention to some features that I wanted you to notice. The diction, which is a fancy word for language, is specific to the sport. It's the language of basketball, and it gives this poem some authority. There were also some really strong verbs in this poem that help us um, visualize what's happening or what the poet is actually doing in the poem. And then how the title and the last line and the verbs combine to make this a love poem. So, we have started writing poetry on our own. And whenever we talk about these poems, when we do the analysis, we also want to talk about what it means, what that might look for us to do the same thing in our own poetry. You have your own first loves, each of you, that isn't a boy or a girl. Think about the poem you've yet to write about your own first source of excitement and self-confidence and comfort and love, and put it down on paper. If you have any questions or need anything at all, or if you struggle with this, don't hesitate to reach out and let me know, and I will set something up for you. I hope you are well. I love and miss you.